Welcome to Raw Talk. I'm a day late because I've been super sick. I've been suffering from chronic migraines for quite a few years now. And anyways, I don't want to make this a sappy story, but that's why sometimes I'm just not around all that much. Plus, I do have a few other YouTube channels. So let's get right into the action here. We started off with Nia Jax, Shayna Baszler, Raquel Rodriguez, and Mommy Rhea Ripley in an out-of-control brawl. And it was kind of neat. I almost said neat. I can't even speak properly. That happens. And then Rhea Ripley basically came into the ring, called out the Judgment Day, which you can see a little snippet of it here. And Mommy was not happy, for those that actually did watch the show, or for those that didn't see it, rather. She called out Damian Priest, said, hey, listen, doesn't look like you did your job. Now, Dirty Dom Dom lost his title to Trick William, which I think was the right move because that's what it's all about. It hyped it up. He took out the Dirty, and it was good. It was good. But then Damian Priest took a jab at Dom and said, well, he doesn't have his title. I still have my titles. Finn Balor wasn't around. And then after that, it was interesting to see Dom all like, yo, back up, Priest. I got this. So because of all the goosiness that they were doing, we now have Sami Zayn. Oh, my God. I pulled a Michael Cole in a WWE. Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso. Now they're going to be facing Judgment Day for the undisputed tag team championships at Fastlane. That's going to be interesting to see if Sami Zayn and or Kevin Owens have a problem with that, if they're going to feel like, oh, look at that, he just comes in here and now he's got a title opportunity. So it's going to be interesting to see that. Ludwig Kaiser and Giovanni Vinci defeat Alpha Academy. And this was really cool because it ended with actually an enziguri, I think it was. I have some notes here. That's fine. Jey Uso comes out. Never mind that. Yeah, Ludwig did. But that enziguri, though, I remember it now that I wrote that note. It felt really devastating, like the way it hit. Just kind of like a punch. Sometimes you get in a brawl, you see people throwing a bunch of punches, or you can have a guy that comes in, lands a solid punch quickly, and if you blink, which I do a lot, you got to be careful, your brain can shut down, and that can cause you to get knocked out. It's not because you couldn't take the hit or anything like that. And before that, we also had a little mini intermission with Jade Cargill that's coming to WWE, and that I am super, super excited for because she is really, really effing good. Like, I mean, so talented, and I'm so happy to see that. Because like I said a million times before, and I'll say it again, I used to get so sick and tired back in the day when women were just used as props, if you know what I mean, for eye candy. And it was just so ridiculous. Now it's like you've got some women that can do some serious ass kicking. And it's amazing, including one that I'll talk about in a moment before I get all distracted like I'm getting right now. So yeah, so just overall, this was a great match. I really, really like Giovanni, starting to see him wrestle a bit more, because for a while it seemed like it was just Ludwig Kaiser and, the champion there. You could tell I'm still feeling the effects there. Gunther, my goodness. And, yeah, typical good match. This had the E in WWE. Big Bronson Reed defeated Cedric Alexander. This was cool to see because I really like Cedric Alexander. And I like Shelton Benjamin. They were a tag team. He's held the gold before, Cedric Alexander. This is a good match. It didn't go as long as I was hoping, but it does definitely seem like Big Bronson Reed is in for a bigger push than what Cedric Alexander is going to get. But every time I see Bronson Reed, man, oh man, I just go... It's going to be awesome to see the ride as he climbs up. I've also seen him in some interviews, and he's just such a chill guy. It's weird. Sometimes I'll judge like a wrestler, like you'll see them, they could be a heel or a face, doesn't really matter, and I'll be like, whatever. Then you could hear them talk, see how they interact with fans, and it can kind of really shape my my opinion of them overall, regardless of how they may perform or not perform well inside of the ring. But yeah, I am hugely into Bronson Reed there. I can't wait to see a match with like him and like Braun Strowman or something like that. I know it sounds so cliche, but still. Or him versus Chad Gable. I want to see him pick him up and just toss him. Oh, I was like, wait a second, what's going on? That's such an amazing thumbnail, you could almost say. Tommaso Ciampa nearly locked Gunther in the Sicilian stretch and the brawl. They were going to have it so that the contract signing was going to make it that they were going to go to Fastlane. But instead, they had the match that night. We'll obviously get into that after. And again, this is one of those things now where I'm getting to see him talk a bit more on his own. He's not with The Miz or anybody else. He's just his own man, and he's starting to grow on me a little bit there now. Great talent. He's pretty good on the mic, all that stuff. It was just really nice, and I really liked the promo that they were cutting on each other in that ring. Even Gunther, trying to laugh him off like, oh, that's so noble of you. I can respect that, but I don't care. I loved the whole thing. It was really nice. I mean, that's just really all there is to it. Xavier Woods defeated Ivar. I didn't like how that happened because it was with the small package. That's what she said. Has to be the big... Anyways. And, oh, man. I'm, like, really becoming... And it's sad because I'm judging him. But I am becoming, like, a huge fan of Ivar. And it's because he's not your conventional, ripped, pretty boy dude. He's got the long hair, the beard, the sagging skin... And the guy can move. The guy can wrestle. He's incredibly agile. He's got really good cardio. And I want to say something that some people might not like, because this guy used to be my main big man. But when you talk about Akeem, the African Dream, or going back to those days with, Big Boss Man, those huge guys they're so iconic. Earthquake, Typhoon, who Typhoon used to be Tugboat. All those big dudes, not all of them, really, with all due respect, had anything that separated one from another. It was just, we're big, we're kind of strong, not really. Maybe we were, maybe we weren't. And it was just impressive to see a big, person moving around, getting potentially thrown or picked up. For a big dude, I would have to say Ivar is quickly becoming one of my favorites, even above, someone like Bam Bam Bigelow. I mean, Bam Bam Bigelow was still pretty special. But I'm saying the way this goes... Oh, and another thing people may not know about Ivar, he's already wrestled all over the world. He's been around for a long time, honing his craft. He just wasn't in WWE. But anyways, the whole thing, just in general, it was a treat. And it's going to be interesting to see when his partner comes back, which I do forget his name. I'm not going to lie. I totally forget his name. I just have a newfound, respect. Like, that's just crazy, the stuff that he can do. It wasn't just like a one-off. He can really, really freaking move. So anyways, enough about that. I want to go back to my cheat sheet to make sure I'm not missing anything. Oh, right. Michael Cole. That's right. Lays into Seth Rollins. Like, what are you doing? Just how crazy are you? And then it was before, obviously, Shinsuke Nakamura came in and walloped Seth from behind. Another great promo, great in-ring interview with Michael Cole, asking those hard-hitting questions. Seth Rollins, as always, doing what he does best, and Shinsuke as well with his Japanese not voiceover. It's the actual thing. I mean, the Japanese promo with the English subtitles added. I love that they just keep going on with that, because Shinsuke can talk. He can cut a promo, right? Just because there was a language barrier and he couldn't do that in English properly doesn't mean that he can't speak, period, right? Just has to speak in his native tongue. So that is great. I'm trying to see something here that I may have missed. Seconds later, Ivar launched a post-match attack on Woods and Kofi. The ladder came when the ladder came to save this cohort. Oh, right, because see, Xavier Woods at the end there was trying to help out Kofi. Yeah. And then he moonsaulted from the top rope. Ivar, that is. See, this is what happens when I don't take notes, and it's been a couple of days since I watched the show, and then I don't record it shortly after. Doing this when it's fresh in my mind, because all those little pieces of detail that I kind of add in there, here and there, really shows you that I was paying attention, but it also shows you that I'm a little bit rusty. That's what happens when like 48 hours goes by. You start to miss and forget some of the things that happened, right? So that's why the notes are very important. So this was cool. Natalya didn't wrestle, but she came and apologized to Tegan Knox, and she defeated Chelsea Green. I like Chelsea Green. I know I've mocked her and said, what the hell's wrong with her? How she can't wrestle. She's a lot better than, like I said, you and I may think. But again, her role in WWE is to be that kind of thing, and to make it look like she's afraid and always running away from everything. Don't forget what Seth Rollins used to be like with J&J Security. He was arguably one of the greatest cowards I had ever seen. That was like one of the strongest, most courageous defending champions of all time. He's always been like that. It's his character that he's playing. And you really got to understand that. And I have to remember that. I have to understand that. This match, though, I just didn't like it. I think Tegan Knox is good. Seems like a solid worker. Right? But just the whole... I wanted to see more. And I didn't get to see more. It just kind of ended a little bit abruptly. Made Chelsea Green kind of look weak again for the last couple of weeks, wrestling, doing the one-on-one kind of thing. So that's one of my criticisms. No fault of any of the performers, obviously. It's no fault of, Tegan or Chelsea, obviously. It's however long they're told they have to do their song and dance, as the expression goes. But just that shiniest wizard and a bop, that's it. Well, whatever. Drew McIntyre. We've been torn with Drew McIntyre. No more notes. Uh-oh. I must have forgotten. I kind of like this thing going on where he still cares about what the fans think, which he said. He's like, you've been with me through thick and thin, back when he was like with 3MB and all that, with Jinder Mahal. He doesn't care about anybody in the back, what they think. He's kind of going rogue, but not really. He's still like a face. The Miz keeps coming out, and Drew McIntyre just keeps telling him to shut it. Even though The Miz looked like he was the only one that was praising Drew. Then they had their match. And of course, Miz lost again. 2-time Grand Slam champ. And I think he's on like his 35th loss this year. It's kind of crazy. Cody Rhodes informed Judgment Day that Jey Uso and he were coming to SmackDown ahead of Fastlane. So that's going to be really cool, because obviously Roman and the other Uso, Jimmy, yeah, that's right, didn't forget his name, and Solo and all them, they're on SmackDown, so they might cross paths in the back and all that, so that'll be really neat to see. Yeah, I mean, it's Cody Rhodes. I mean, he's one of my favorites ever of all time, just period, across all generations. Just fuck, man, he's awesome. Oh, look at that. Jackie Redmond, is that her name? I'm using the same Apple Watch face. Anyways, yeah, whatever. Okay. You could tell I'm getting really tired. Plus, I'm excited because Assassin's Creed is coming out at midnight in like 6 hours. Oh my god. So Gunther defeated Tomato and basically turned him into paste. Tomato paste. It was a great match. Really, really good match. But honestly, did you think, like, with all due respect, it's Tommaso. I think the guy is great. He's really, really, really good. It's on Monday Night Raw. I'm not saying the title can't change hand, but you've got the longest reigning Intercontinental Champion of all time, like ever, ever. You think that shit's going to drop on a Monday Night Raw? I don't think so. That's like a Royal Rumble, maybe Survivor Series, WrestleMania, SummerSlam kind of thing. But I still think it would have been nice to see, potentially, because I don't always want just those big moments to happen on one of those PLEs, those pay-per-view. I like calling them pay-per-views. But I don't want WrestleMania to always just be the place, right? Like we're coming up with Survivor Series. Maybe something will happen at Survivor Series with a title change or at the Royal Rumble or something like that. It doesn't always have to be Mania or SummerSlam. I find like Mania, SummerSlam are like the two, kind of not really, biggest places where title things can happen. Title swapping, whatever. You know what I mean. Title reigns can end and all that shit. I don't know who's going to take them. Things are kind of up in the air. I don't know who's going to end up eventually dethroning Gunther, who's eventually going to dethrone Roman, who's going to eventually dethrone the Judgment Day for the tag team belts. Like, who are they eyeing out to be the next to carry the belts? I was really enjoying KO and Sami Zayn, but whatever. Oh, and Johnny Gargano came out at the end. I almost forgot. I just saw his name there. To the aid of Tommaso there. When Imperium came in and was laying stomping a mud hole in Tommaso's beard. So yeah, it was a good show. I enjoyed it. And I also watched Edge's debut on AEW. That was really cool with Sting and all that, and Darby Allin. Yeah, and Christian Cage, like, just wow. That was really awesome. But I don't have time to cover that. Barely have time to breathe, right? And with health issues and time constraints, okay? This is why these videos are so fun for me. I'm very passionate about them, but I get it a lot of times. They're very unprofessional, very, very much so. Sometimes I try to be a bit more professional, like if I had like my little notes underneath my phone and you couldn't tell, like, oh yeah, like I'm reading from, looking at the notes isn't so bad. What I don't like is when I'm struggling to remember stuff and I'm like, whatever is what I say. I'm not on TV. Not that I'm not taking it seriously. I'm just saying I'm not as stressed out or worried about it if things ever get more serious and my channel really starts to grow. Maybe I'll try to work on refining it a little bit more. We'll just see. Anyways, as always, if you liked the video, it does greatly help support the channel. You didn't like it, thumbs down. We'll bend it in half, twist it, snap it off in your ass, or maybe we'll snap off your finger in Rikishi's ass. Where did that come from? I have no idea. I just thought that'd be a great idea. All right, time to go. And if you want to subscribe to the channel, which you probably won't want to after seeing this, especially if it's your first video, I don't blame you. But if you want to, that'd be great. And if not, whatever. Thanks for stopping by anyways. Take care, and maybe I'll see some of you in the next one. Bye for now.